So my name is Kirtidev Mohapatra. So we'll be looking into Gephi. So it's a open source software and it is used to analyze large scale network. So here network we means for graphs and it uses a 3D render engine to display the graphs in real time. This is the overview of Gephi and it's basically extensively used in the area of social networks for visualizing and analyzing different parameters of nodes for a given graph. So this is the startup window of Gephi. Okay, so here we can either import a CSV file data or we can import GML. Okay, there are various data formats that it supports. Okay, and this software can be downloaded from the official website of Gephi. We'll move on to this creation of CSV data format. So here we are going to create a data format CSV. So for this purpose I'm going to use this ID and states. So this entire sheet is my node. Okay, it represents nodes with their ID, and here we have the edges with their ID. Okay, so in this sheet, so basically it consists of ID, and this is for labels. Okay, so here I'm going to keep each state as a node. For that I'm going to use particular ID for each state, and yeah, the column ID, this is mandatory if you're creating this data format. And moving on to this edge, so here I want to establish an edge between the node ID 1 with the node ID 5. For that I'm going to use source and target, and this graph type is undirected, so I'm not going to assign any weight. I can either assign 0. Okay, so I'm going to save it as, yeah, so here I'm going to change the data format as CSV. Okay, then I'm going to hit on save in order to save this file, since I have already saved it in my system, so I'm not going to repeat it again. Okay, so we'll move on to here. So here I want to import, yeah, so I'll import this spreadsheet, the data set that I have created. So I'll go move on to states.csv. Okay, it's going to be displayed here. Yeah, so here I need to make sure that import as node table, it should be node table rather than edges table, because I'm importing the node data set. Okay, next, finish. Okay, so graph time I am going to keep it as undirected. Okay, yeah, then I'm going to import the edge set. So I'll simply click on import neighbor.csv. This is my edge set, so I need to make sure that this is import as edge tables. Okay, next, finish. This graph time, yeah, this is undirected only. So yeah, so basically that's it. So since there are multiple means what multi edges that I have created, that's my mistake. So we'll move on with a particular given set of data set that we have downloaded from the website. Okay, so we'll close this and we'll start again. Okay, so here this Indian states network.gml, this is the data that I have downloaded from the website. So we'll click on this. Okay, so I'm going to keep the graph type as undirected. Okay, oh, close. So this is the startup window of Gephi. So this is the overview, and this is the data laboratory where I can visualize the data in tabular format. Okay, it might take some time. Okay, this is the nodes, and these are the edges. Okay, we'll go on to overview. So yeah, so this overview is the window where basically we are going to work upon, means majority of our task will be performed here only. Okay, and data laboratory, we are going to check every data in the tabular format, and in the preview mode we are going to, so this is the last step before printing the graph or before generating the output of this particular application, this preview mode. So that we are going to check at the end. So we'll click on the overview. Okay, yeah, so here there are different types of layout that we can work upon. Like we have expansion, we'll click on run. Okay, and we have force atlas, we'll click on run. Okay, so these layouts are the algorithm that are designed by designed in Gephi for the purpose of visualizing the graphs in different formats. Okay, based on the type of application that we need, based on the type of graph that we are working upon. So these layouts can be differently varied. So I'll use the most popular one, force atlas. So I'll click on run. So yeah, so if I zoom in, just moving the cursor will zoom in. Okay, so here these are different nodes. So this repulsion strength, in order to zoom out, what I can do is that I can click here. Okay, this particular icon I can hit to zoom out. So in this repulsion strength, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to keep it as 10,000. Okay, so what is this repulsion? I'll hit the stop one. So what is this repulsion strength is all about? So suppose, let's say this particular node. So imagine this, all the nodes are floating in a void space. Okay, so they can be close to each other, they can be far away from each other. So deciding a repulsion strength basically means that we are going to force the nodes to be uh, move away from each other, means they will be placed away from each other with a this value, particular 10,000 as the parameter. This particular value, they will be kept away from each other, so each nodes will be separated. Means yeah, it's a kind of, let's say we're talking about, let's say for a general example, that magnets, okay, north and north are going to repel each other. So in that way we are going to repel the nodes from each other in order to visualize only. And this attraction strength is opposite of repulsion. And similarly we can adjust all these things based upon our requirements. So here we have several layouts that we can perform in order to visualize this one. And yeah, so